Christ Game Saga, Part 4 of Infinity. The Spiritual Duel Parable Expounded. But first, Christ Games. Why do I call them Christ Games? Think about the literal definition of the word Christ for a moment. What is it? The title, also treated as a name given to Jesus, and/or an oath, used to express irritation, dismay, or surprise. The name Christ, the word Christ, it means an oath used to spiritually express irritation, dismay, or surprise. Why irritation, dismay, or surprise? Think about it. Nothing but everything in this world, all it does to you is causes you irritation and tells you not to talk about it. All it does is cause you dismay and tells you not to talk about it. All it does is hide things from you and tells you not to talk about it. The thing is, if you just talk about it, speak on it, you will give the revelation unto the world in regards to how and/or what they should be doing and/or the way, John 14:6, they should be living. Just express the truth. Tell the truth, because the reality is, the truth is the only thing that the dismay that is happening from the world and the secrets they are keeping, the truth is the reason why they have all these things out here for us. So, if you express it, if you talk about it, let the world know what they are hiding from us, what they are doing to us, it'll give the rest of your neighbors the revelations they need and/or the wherewithal they need to make intelligent decisions to stop them from doing so. But it's up to you if you want to play the Christ games or not. And then the word game. Why do I use the word game for this here Christ game parable that I keep kicking up to you? Because the word game literally defines, or one of the definitions of the word game, to manipulate a situation, typically in a way that is unfair or unscrupulous. Typically in a way that is unfair or unscrupulous. So think about this for a second. So one of the definitions of the word game is to manipulate a situation, right? So that means to manipulate the grounds in which you are all standing on, and/or which the state which you are all sitting in. You follow what I'm saying? And how do you manipulate a situation in the regard? By talking, by saying things that will essentially shatter the foundational grounds in which we are all being irritated and/or distraught on as we are standing there upon them. If this makes sense to you so far, tell the truth. This is what the Christ Game Saga is for. Tell the truth, to inspire you to tell the truth, to inspire you to do what is right, saying things that will inspire you to do what is right, saying things that will inspire you to tell the truth so that other people can do what is right next to you. The goal here, encourage all of humanity and/or all of the sun race or all of the sun people to manifest a global utopia, a global golden yuga, a global paradise. No more distractions. No more things taking us away from the way we should be living. No more things keeping us blinded or keeping a veil over our eyes from the truth and how we should be living and how we should be standing. This is the point of the Christ Games. To replace the fake foundational grounds, plural, with a natural one, singular. And this is what I'm going to talk about more in this video today. So, the Christ Game Saga, Part 4 of Infinity, the Spiritual Duel Parable Expounded. I just did this video. I'm going to do it again with more details. I'm going to switch a few things up to make it make more sense and to make it sound a little bit less childish, and also to give a concrete idea of the grounds we can stand on properly to fight back against the oppression causing us irritation, dismay, and forced secrets. So here we go. Spiritual duel parable. So here's how I want it to set up. As I said in the previous video, it's still going to be the same. And it's still going to be a nerd parable in a sense. This is still going to be a sizable nerd parable. So, I mean, let's think about it. The foundation that I personally come from is more so of and honestly, it's a nerd kind of sort of geek kind of sort of in the books, in in the positivity realm. Like, I will insult you by calling you miraculous. Like, I will stand my grounds and say things to you just to mess up your equilibrium of how you want to speak to me by calling you spectacular, by calling you outstanding, by calling you amazing, by calling you remarkable. I'll just say it out of nowhere. Why? Because I know words such as these will cause your inner disposition to shift. This is what it means to spiritually uplift, because let's not forget, your infinite dimensional thinking mind is already automatically attached to you. Your infinite dimensional thinking mind is already automatically attached to you. So in reality, you just need to be made aware of it, where it is, how to tap into it, so you can begin to tap into it the right way for the rest of your natural days. Walking good forever, seeing everything forever, seeing things the way they should be seen, and how to stop them from being what they are, causing you irritation, dismay, and surprises, or secrets. No more secrets. Reveal all the secrets of the world. The more secrets you reveal to the world, the more the foundation of the world gets getting destroyed. Because let's never forget, the only reason why they are hiding anything from us at all is to ensure all of our lives continue to suffer to death. The only reason why they are hiding anything from us at all is because they are using it to ensure our lives will continue to suffer to death. That's the only reason why they're hiding anything from us. So I'm about to play this game. I want to say this before I go in. Did you notice the P. Diddy case, as well as this new recent case of this young woman who is admitting to some damage that she did years ago? Notice these situations rising here. Notice they are using them to distract us. Why do I say they're using the P. Diddy case and the woman who accused those three recessive gentlemen for raping her years ago, and then she caused all of their lives to be destroyed? Why they're bringing this to the surface now? To distract us. Let's never forget, they always want to paint the narrative that the melanated people of the world are evil, monstrous criminals. That's why they keep sending guns to your neighborhoods. That's why they keep on putting guns into your gangsters' hands. That's why they keep programming you to fight and kill yourselves. They want to paint you as a chaotic group of people and nothing else but so. This is why I'm going to keep telling you things, because the fact that the government is constantly trying to get you all to kill yourselves, constantly trying to tell you all that you are rapists, constantly trying to tell you all that you are this P. Diddy party or whatever case may have you, constantly trying to distract you, to force you to believe that this is the only thing that melanated people are about. But the reality is, the main thing that we are about is living the right way. And the main thing the enemy or the oppressive body about is ensuring we live the wrong way. So all of these distractions are in your face. All of these misleading, misinformation, disinformation, and all these accusations out here. You follow what I'm saying? All of these things are to distract you from living the way you were supposed to live correctly. And then let's look at it this way for a moment too. How many of the recessives are kidnapping children and raping them to death as we speak, with no allegations or no accusations coming out against them? And yet, the only thing you can bring up to accuse my people is something that happened years ago with them. Something that they did years ago. And it wasn't even most of the things that you're accusing them for ain't even true. You're just bringing it up. Why now, huh? You want to know why now? Because there's a power or an ability to be spiritually awakened out here that they don't want you to notice or pay attention to. It don't matter how cringe my stuff is right now currently. My stuff is only as cringe as it is because of the situation that I have been obligated to walk into due to all of the steps in my life being thwarted from their right sequences. If you follow what I'm saying. Same thing goes for P. Diddy. Same thing goes for Jay-Z, even though he's pretty much beating the case right now. Same thing goes for the woman who accused the 3 boys. My thing is, she shouldn't even been a stripper. What is encouraging our women to be strippers in the first place? But that's another story though. Here, the spiritual duel parable now. I just want to throw it out there randomly. If you're going to sit up there and accuse J or P. Diddy, and if you're going to sit up there and try to drag Jay-Z through all this mud, because of what some woman said in regards to accusing him, knowing that 80% of the time women are not telling the truth in regards to what they're saying anyways, because of your programming, recessive people, because of the recessive people's programming unto our women, due to the devil telling them, due to the devil to and through the recessive people programming our women to misbehave and step out of their virtuous character as they are. She was a stripper in the first place. The thing is, she wouldn't even been a stripper if not for your artificial foundation. If your artificial foundations were not in play, boring this sword into my family body as it is currently, none of my people would be anything that you want them to be at all. That's the main thing. I'm always at the root of the problem. I'm always at the root of the problem. It's because of what you all have placed as our root in spirit, or as our foundational grounds in spirit, the things that you have forced into our foundational grounds in spirit. We all make the horrific choices we make. We all do the foul things that we do. And due to them being so consistent in trying to bore in this chaotic, evil, and disrespectful character, due to them being so consistent with it, here's the thing. We are making these choices. We are making these decisions. We are being obligated to face these accusations within our future days. We are being obligated to. Is Bill Cosby even guilty? I even question the R. Kelly situation. Because let's never forget, you all are punishing these men for accusations that children are making as adults. But the thing is, what about the recessive people who are inspiring child molestation in the first place? What about the recessive people whose government structure supports kidnapping children off the streets and broad day massacres or broad day assassinations? What about those things? Why are we not paying attention to those things? The only thing we want to pay attention to is what they tell us we are doing. What they are telling us we are doing is the only thing we can pay attention to. Why can't we look at what the actual oppressors are doing? Why can't we look at what the actual problem is doing? You want to know why? Because they taught us not to. It's the same answer. They taught us to worship abuse. They taught us to praise abuse. They taught us to love abuse. They taught us to be gluttonous for it. It's all in your foundational grounds. I can see it. And which is why this spiritual dual parable that I'm getting ready to label and describe, after giving just a little bit more things before I go into it, that's why I'm saying it out loud. That's why I'm expressing it. That's why I'm expressing the irritation. That's why I'm expressing the dismay. That's why I'm expressing it. So I'm telling you that there's a better foundation for you to stand on out here, or in here. So I'm telling you there's one. It's going to cause the fake ones, plural, to be destroyed. So here's the spiritual dual parable now. So here's the way it's set up. It's going to be inspired by Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, right? Now, watch this. In Yu-Gi-Oh, there's your main deck. And that's what you start off with, right? Now, for this parable, I am going to remix and revamp everything in regards to the entirety of the game. All of it. Because, like I said, this is a spiritual thing for me. Everything is spiritual for me. I am battling or saying all that is necessary for the spirit to have what it needs. This phone, man. I am saying all the things necessary for the spirit, the spiritual grounds to be clear and clean as they were meant to be for us all. That's why I'm expressing all the things that I'm expressing. So the spiritual duel will be as follows. The main deck, right? I'm going to change the names up of everything for this to make sense. But you can apply the concept of the Yu-Gi-Oh game to the spiritual parable for it to make more sense. So the main deck, what is it going to be titled? The Foundation of Knowledge, BKA the Subconscious Mind. That's what my main deck is, right? The main deck is, once again, the knowledge of foundation of knowledge, and also, or the subconscious mind. Also, too, more details. Now, the main deck in Yu-Gi-Oh, or in this parable, the foundation of knowledge, BKA subconscious mind, it usually holds about 40 cards in it, right? Cards. They are called cards in that game, in the children's card game, right? They are called cards. Well, you want to know what I'm going to call them for this parable? Spirit soul traits and or SSTs. spirit soul traits and or SSTs. Now, usually in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, but this is going to be spiritual Yu-Gi-Oh, so, or a spiritual duel. So I got the main deck, or I got the subconscious mind, or the foundation of knowledge, and there are spirit soul traits within them. What is my quantity of spirit soul traits? Now, usually in the game, it's about 40 casually, right? To start off with, I'm going to say it's 47. So I have 47 spirit soul traits within my foundation of knowledge, BKA subconscious mind, that I get to draw from and or utilize. You follow what I'm saying? Now, the next title, the hand. In the game, in the children's card game known as Yu-Gi-Oh, you have a hand, right? And you usually draw from your foundation of knowledge to get to draw your SSTs, and you put them in your hand, right? Now, in the previous video, I said it was going to be called the cargo. Well, in this video, it's just simply going to be titled the conscious mind. You follow what I'm saying? Like I said, it's all a spiritual parable. It's a spiritual dual parable. So you got your subconscious mind, BKA your foundation of knowledge, and the 47 spirit soul traits within them. Now, during each of your turns, or during your first turn, you start off with 5 spirit soul traits in your conscious mind. 5 spirit soul traits in your conscious mind, ready to be utilized however you wish to use them, however what combos you want to execute, and so on and so forth. You follow what I'm saying? Spirit soul traits. This is a spiritual duel. I'm just using the structure of the children's card game to label and describe it more effectively to the point where it makes sense, and it'd be kind of fun to listen to. So that's just that simple though. Now, the field that we're on. Now, in the previous video, I called the field the soul grounds, the soul field, the soul grounds, right? The field itself is just going to simply be the physical body, or should I say the physical reality, and or where things manifest. So the field that they are on is the reality we are in. The field itself is the reality we are in. That's what the field is. But the main deck is the subconscious mind, or the foundation of knowledge. And the cards are the SSTs, or the spirit soul traits. And your hand, where you hold your cards and you hold your spirit soul traits to execute them in order to manifest them into reality, in order to put them off into the world that'll accidentally and or intentionally destroy the artificial foundation in which our family body is trapped within right now. Your conscious mind holds your spirit soul traits. You play your spirit soul traits from your conscious mind. You play your spirit soul traits from your conscious mind. Proverbs 23:7, as one thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. I'm going to incorporate everything into it this time. Everything. So, your spirit soul traits, or SSTs, you start off with 5 of them in your conscious mind in this spiritual dual parable that I am talking about here, that I am labeling and describing. But here's the thing though, the spiritual dual parable has already been going on. It's already been going on. So, right now, currently, it's the opponent's turn because the opponent took it. And here's what's going on. Here's how the opponent's side of the field is set up. So right now, currently, right? Now see, in the game of, in the children's card game known as Yu-Gi-Oh, there are what you would call normal monsters, effect monsters, spell cards, and trap cards. You follow what I'm saying? 4 things, 4 styles of things right there. You follow me? Of course, there's more, but I'm only going to use the basics for this parable because I don't really need to go into too much deep, or just a children's card game. And this is just a parable that I'm using that's inspired by it. Just like my Super Jesus 47 game is inspired by Super Mario 64. The spiritual parable is inspired by the Yu-Gi-Oh game. Just like I have many other parables inspired by many other things. Like the 4 corner spirit prison inspired by Revelation 5. The 4 corners of the world. I just say things that are inspired by many other things. I'm just giving you what I got to label and describe. One thing you all need to know: the proper foundational grounds to stand on in order to beat the spiritual war we are currently in. Or energy war. Or principle war. Or way war. Yeah, we're in a way war. Everybody is in a way war without even realizing it. And this parable right here is going to help us simplify this way war that we are all in. John 14:6. Check it out. So I'm going to call these cards, of course, spirit soul traits, or SSTs. And instead of it just being a regular old spell card, I'm going to call it a Unity Spell SST, or a Unity Spell Spirit Soul trait. And instead of them being regular trap cards, I'm going to call them Advancement Trap SSTs, or Advancement Trap Spirit Soul traits. So every trap card within this parable, or every trap Spirit Soul trait, is going to be an Advancement Spirit Soul trait. And then every spell within this parable is going to be a Unity Spell Spirit Soul trait. You follow me? And as I go through, and instead of calling them monsters, I don't like to call anything I'm getting ready to use in this parable a monster. I'm going to call them avatars, or spiritual avatars, or avatars in spirit. And mine just so happens to look like a Michael B. Jordan or Eric Killmonger avatar from the Black Panther movie. This phone, man, I could tell how it's constantly slowing down the way I'm looking as I talk in the video. My previous phone was stolen. Bought this one. Watched the girls out do things. When I bought this phone, it got sabotaged. Long story short. Moving forward. Just gonna buy a new one then, right? Keep on pushing, even though I'm being pushed against as I am pushing, right? Just imagine if what was giving them the power to push against us was destroyed, which is what this parable is going to do. So check it out. On my opposing side of the field right now, on the opposing side of the field within this parable, in the same reality we are all in, because the field is the reality. The main deck is the subconscious mind, and your conscious mind is your hand in this here spirit duel parable. 4 things: regular avatar, effect avatar, unity spells, and advancement traps. Peace, pause, love bombs, unity spells, and advancement traps. Moving forward. So, on the opposing side of the field right now currently, it has its own field card in play. And right now, the field card in play on the oppressive side of the field is called the Racist Division Spell Spirit Soul trait. The Racist Dividing Spirit Soul trait. Yeah, the opposer's cards, or the opposer spirit soul traits, are all opposite of my spirit soul traits. All of them are. So instead of having unity spells, the opposers have division spells. They have division spell spirit soul traits. I have unity spell spirit soul traits. And right now they have a division spell field spirit soul trait, because there's also a unity spell field spirit soul trait. And there's also a division spell field spirit soul trait. Or in other words, like in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, there will be a field card at play that's giving all of the other spirit soul traits on the field power-ups and or boosts and or abilities to do extra things, like keep a sword extended through the hearts of my family forever. So racism is the field card here on the oppressive side of on the oppressor's side of the board. Racism is the field card they are using, or the field spirit soul trait, the division spell, racism. Next, what else is on the other side of the field? And racism is what you would consider an evil ethic, or evil ethical ground, or an evil ethical stance, or an evil ethical foundation in itself. Racism is. The second one is feminism. Where is feminism located in this parable here? Feminism, of course, it's jealousies, primarily women. How can I fit it to this parable here? Because let's never forget, I'm also making all of this up as I go. Feminism is, of course, it's an evil ethic ground, an artificial evil ethic ground. But where is it in this parable here? Feminism is what can be considered a pendulum. Yeah, that's what feminism is going to be. If you ever heard of the concept of a pendulum card in Yu-Gi-Oh, that's what feminism will be. Feminism is what can be considered a pendulum card, or pendulum spirit soul trait. And what do pendulums do? Pendulums in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, if you have one side set up where you have, like, I want to say a three diamond, and the other side set up with an 8 diamond or something like that. The thing is, the numbers in between them, whatever is in your hand or whatever is in your conscious mind, the levels of them, because the levels range from like 1 to like 12 in this game here. So whatever level of whatever number that the individual card has, once you activate your so-called pendulum scale in the game here, you could just play them all on the field at once. So, like, let's say, for example, if you got 4 individual monsters, right, in your hand, and they all range from levels 1 through 5, and your pendulum scale has 2 through 7, you can summon or play everything from your hand, monster-wise, that is from the levels of 3 to 6. You follow what I'm saying? And that combo is going to come in hand a little bit later. So check it out. So yeah, feminism will just be a pendulum scale then. Feminism in this parable right here will be a scale, something that's going to help something else be summoned. You follow what I'm saying? Feminism is just, actually, you know what? I'm going to change that up. Feminism is, yeah, here's what feminism can be. Feminism can be like the change of heart unity spell. You follow what I'm saying? Because like in before, I'm gonna use the pendulum scale idea again though, but feminism is on some like control the family body type of thing. That's what feminism can do, because you know we fall for our women's BS a lot of times, and they lead us in the wrong direction because they're giving us improper foundational grounds to stand on and or walk from. If that makes sense. So feminism is going to be like a change of heart control spell then. Yeah, that's what feminism will be. It'll be a change of heart control spell then. Well, they're all division spells, the same thing in the spirit, all division, because feminism divides our family. So feminism is another division spell, sure. How about that? And feminism is what has control over the family body and separating the family body from me. You follow me? Feminism is separating the family body from me. So now, check it. Yeah, you just saw that. I don't care if you did. I'm not going to tell you what it is either. You're going to find out. Moving forward. Now, it's a control spell. The feminism has the family body controlled or taken away from the rest of its natural grounds unto their side of the field. Feminism has the control over it on the racist grounds. Next, the third one, foul sexuality. Foul sexuality is, that can be a pendulum right there. That'll be a pendulum right there, sure. Because the religions are the sword bored into the family body right now currently. That's what the religions are going to be. The religions are going to be the sword, in a sense. They all give the power to the sword, and they all make up the one sword, but the religions are pretty much the one thing that has you bored down into the ground the most. The religions are. So check it. Next, there is my foundation. My foundation is actually the family body on the wrong side of the field right now. The fourth thing is the foundation, the nerd geek culture. This belief system pillar categorizes the rich, middle class, and all of ye that have been poverty-stricken due to colonization worldwide. This belief system pillar 4 is right now on the wrong side of the field with the current racist field at play. The feminist card control, or the feminist spirit soul trait controlling it. Believe all women, right? Women's rights. Did you know women's rights are only the rights to destroy a man's life without challenge or question? That's what women's rights are for. Women's rights. The only reason why they have their rights is to destroy all of our lives without question or challenge. That's what women's rights do. So yeah, the feminist, yeah, there you go. The feminist spirit soul trait is women's rights. Yeah. And women's rights are what's causing all of our lives as men to be a dismay, or at least a little bit something extra they're doing. So the pendulum scale card or spirit soul trait would be the foul sexuality, belief system pillar 3, and/or evil ethic position 3. That would just be the pendulum. And then on the other end, will be the fake artificial gangsters. The other scale, and that's now due to the foul sexual, the foul evil. Nah, let me see. Instead of saying the gangsters are the other scale, I'm just making it all up as I go, family. Making it all up as I go. So instead of saying the other scale would be the gangsters, the other scale would be the tribes. Yeah. The other scale would be the tribes. And the sword being stuck and or bored into the foundation right now. And or what's, because let's never forget, everything that the oppressive body does is to turn nature against nature. Everything the oppressive body does is to turn natural nature against natural nature, right? So the foundation, meaning my actual foundation, is on the oppressive side of the field, being controlled by feminism right now, in a sense, on the racist field grounds that they are all on. And then there's a scale spiritual trait known as foul sexuality, and then there's a scales trait known as scale pendulum spirit soul trait known as the tribes, that are going to help bring about a sword that is being bored into my family body right now and keeping the foundation pinned to the ground, the correct foundation pinned to the ground and unable to move. And that sword makes up the religions and the gangsters. That's what the sword makes up, because those two things right there are causing the most major distraction in keeping our family bored to the ground. Meaning, if the religions and the gangsters get the correct ideas into their heads and the correct foundation to walk from, we win. The gangsters and the religions are the most pivotal here. This parable can be used however you want, because the other day I said it was racism, feminism, and foul sexuality that were of the sword. But in this parable right here, I'm changing it up again, huh? Yeah, I change up more than an enemy does sometimes, or at least what I'm saying to you and how I'm trying to get my message across. Yeah, I change up a lot. I'm gonna be intentionally hypocritical a lot, because that's what the enemy is. Everything the enemy is, I will be my way, so you can see how it is in its way. I'm going to be virtually everything the enemy is in my way. So I'm going to be what the enemy is in God's speed. So it means I'm going to be saying things like, I am the truth, your enemy, and you will understand before me. Spiritual dual parable. So the pendulum scale, the control card, the field card, my foundation being in the zone that it is in. My foundation being in the zone that it is in. And then the gangsters, as well as the religions, being used as a sword to bore my people down to the ground. The other day I said it was just the white folks, didn't I? The recessive people. Well, if you think about it in reality, why do we have our brethren in the gangs who are being misled as they are being misled? Let's never forget, they are driving the weapons into your neighborhoods and then putting things on the TVs to tell you to kill yourselves, right? Remember, they are turning nature against nature. The recessives are being told to turn nature against nature. So in a sense, no matter how you slice up this parable here, at the end of the day, who is going to be the sword bored into my family body right now? Currently, the oppressive recessive body. No matter how you try to put this parable, at the end of the day, it's all going to be them bored into my family body. And my family body is the foundation. My family body is the foundation in this spiritual duel. And right now, the gangsters and the religions are a sword being bored into it. But the thing is, in reality, you are only the sword because the recessive people will not stop turning you into it. So in a sense, like I said, they are the sword. Like I said in the previous video, they are the sword, not us. We are just nature being turned against nature because they wish to act as our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. The recessive people meaning. But in reality, the only thing, if you look at it the way I'm seeing it now, the reality, the only thing that they could be in this parable sense, no longer the physical body, in this parable sense, they will be the subconscious mind, where the devil will be the conscious mind. Meaning they are telling us to be the sword to put into ourselves and trap ourselves into artificial grounds. You follow what I'm saying? So this is the setup here. So the foundation right now currently is being pinned down according to this spiritual parable right here, it's not the actual end all be all parable. It's just a way to talk about some things. Just another way to give another scenario or another a measurement of a situation that we are in a fun way that we can talk about to maybe fix it or destroy it or get out of it, right? So the family body is being pinned down by the sword, by the white or by the recessive sword. And due to the family body foundation being pinned down by the recessive sword, there ain't too much it can do to get out of the trap it is within. So, what's going to happen? Now that the setup is the way the setup is, I'm going to just recap it right quick. So, the field card, first one, racism. Second one, feminism. Control. It's the control card, or another... You know what? Let me see. The enemy can have this as a trap then, huh? Stagnant trap. Yeah, feminism is a stagnant trap. A stagnant trap spirit soul trait. That's what feminism is. The opposite of everything I got. So their field card or their field spell is a division spell, spirit soul trait. And feminism for the oppressive body is a stagnant spirit trait, spirit soul trait. And this stagnant trap has control over the family body right now, stopping it from realizing how and what it should be doing to be living its life right now. And then you have the two scale avatars, because in the card game, the avatars are actually monsters. So the foul sexual practicing avatar and the false tribal avatar, all false, all artificial, all fake and evil and wrong. All of it is. All 7 of these spirit soul traits are fake and evil and wrong. Wait until you see the part I'm getting to. So check it out. Feminism. Stagnant trap. Control over the foundation. Racism. Giving feminism its chance to be. And then also the scales. The foul, evil sexual practices. And the fake cannibalism and wars within the tribes, using those to summon the sword into the foundation that it has control over, the belief system pillar 4. You follow what I'm saying? And now, this is the setup. You follow me? This is the enemy's field setup, if it makes sense to you. Those 7 things are in play on the enemy side of the field right now. So now, that's the end of the turn. And what's happening in the process of that being set up is that, like I said, we are not being allowed to live the right way we are meant to live. So, time to get my heart chakra free from this oppressive body's grasp right now. I want to get my heart chakra free from the oppressive body's grasp. I want to get my heart of hearts free from the oppressive body's grasp right now. That's another point of this parable. I want to get my heart chakra freed from the oppressive body's sword grasp right now. How the oppressive body has myself bored into myself to stop myself from living the right way. Remember, the enemy wants to turn nature against nature, people against people, things against things, life against life. Moving forward. So now let's move to my side of the field. The combo is going to be almost the exact same thing within, like it was in the last video. So I'm going to start by summoning the I, Father, God, Christ body within the spirit. Once the I, Father, Christ is summoned within the spirit, peace pal. Remember, he has 0 attack. So what does he do? He analyzes the situation, recognizes the 7 things on the enemy side of the field, and then his special effect activates. The artificial ground destruction. Artificial ground destruction. Peace pal, love bomb. As soon as the Christ Father is summoned within the spirit, and meaning as soon as the Christ Father is summoned within our reality. Just let's not forget, that's what the field parable is. That's what the field is in this parable. The field is the reality we are all in. The field is the reality we are all in. So let's just start off this way. It's my turn now, right? I have 5 spirit soul traits in my hand, in my conscious mind right now. I got 5 spirit soul traits in my conscious mind. Let me not do this. I'm going to do it like this because that's what the parable is. It's a spiritual parable, right? I got 5 spirit soul traits in my conscious mind right now. And it is my turn. to draw from my foundation of knowledge the 6th spirit soul trait. Now I got 6 spirit soul traits in my hand. And the first thing I'm going to do is summon the eye, or the third eye, Christ Father, God, within the spiritual realm, unto the physical grounds, reality, peace pal, analyzing the situation. The 7 cards are there. Targets them all, including the foundation, myself. Now, what happens when the Christ Father is summoned? His effect activates, his love bomb effect, or his love effect. And what does it do? It destroys and negates everything on the field. Everything on the field gets destroyed and negated. Everything on the field gets destroyed and negated. So, once the Christ Father is summoned, the field card is destroyed. Once the Christ Father is summoned, the control cards are negated. Once the Christ Father is summoned, whatever is giving power to evil gets eradicated. So, upon summoning the Christ Father, here are the first few things that goes. Racism, feminism, foul sexuality. Those are the first 3 things that go. Afterwards, the family body returns to my side of the field. I don't have to attack it yet. I'm gonna save the attack later. The family body returns to my side of the field first. The previous video I said I attacked the devil and got it off that way. But man, the more I'm starting to realize, the more I put the truth out here, bro, the more it's like, man, are we really going to have to fight a war? Or are we really just going to have to keep saying the right things to stop what's causing the wars from happening? You follow what I'm saying? Well, are we really going to have to fight a war here, man? Are we really going to have to? I mean, because I'm looking at the people over in China. The people over in China, man, they are, or the recessive people who run the region of land colonized to be called China. That Xiaoping, whatever his name is, he's really just, from what I'm seeing in the videos you all have posted and some of the articles I've read online about the guy, he's just really trying to encourage and or influence war by any means necessary. Any means necessary. That's what I'm noticing about this guy. But here's the thing. All of them are like that. They just don't tell you in your face. They just don't tell you face to face or personally. They are all like that, though. Warmongers. All of them are. They're all warmongers. This is why we are all living in habitual wars. And this is why they all want war to keep going forever and ever. So this parable maybe might do something. Destroy the artificial grounds that all of them are standing on. Because without the racist grounds, none of those spirit soul traits have their initial of their abilities to function. So meaning you cannot play the you can't play the foul sexual pendulum, nor can you brainwash all of the tribes to be what they are without racism. Feminism doesn't exist without racism. The gangsters, they won't be the kind of gangsters they are without racism. Racism, once that goes, virtually all of the rest of them go. Or at least we'll just have to say and or express certain things to them to get rid of the rest of the problems that the root issue, race hatred, racism is causing. And as soon as the Father is summoned in the spirit, your field card is destroyed. That's the first thing that goes. And since racism was giving power to all of the rest of the things, as soon as your racism field is destroyed, all of the rest of those abilities go away. All of them do. And my family body returns to my side of the field. This is how I should have explained the parable in the previous video. Meaning I don't necessarily have to attack the devil. I could just destroy the field that you are all on that's causing you to do the things that you are doing, and everything else will go back to normal over time. So what happens to feminism once the racism field is destroyed? It just gets sent to what is known as the discard pile. Because remember, it was just a card being used, or just a spirit soul trait being used by racism. So in other words, our women are only misbehaving and being as, what's the opposite of the word virtuous? Immoral as they are being, because racism or the race hatred programming is telling them to be so. It's all race hate programming. It's all racism programming. It's all the recessive people telling us and or poisoning us to be and or do what we are being and or doing right now currently. It's just the hatred of the race hatred. That's the main thing right there. Race hatred is the main issue of the world. As soon as race hatred is destroyed, virtually all the other six become meaningless. They can't activate. They can't do anything. They can't function properly without race hatred. They can't. I guarantee you they can't. How much you want to bet that race hatred is the root reasoning for all of our problems today? And if you're wondering if black people can be racist, you're wrong. Black people cannot be racist. I am willing to argue with you till death on this topic right here because they can't be racist. Want to know why? What institutions and or anything do we control in this fake ass world that we have here? That's the first time I use profanity. But what institutions or what do we control? What do we have control over? Whose lives can we make miserable for no reason at all? Who can we mass incarcerate? Who? How many people can we mass incarcerate? Can we go over to different countries and different lands and just start a goddamn war? Can we do that like you can? We can't just start a war. We don't even like war. Like I said, it's only the recessive people and their infinite mouths of war, hatred, division, and stagnance influence that is causing us all to live the way we are. So if their foundational artificial field gets destroyed, everything else that they are using, all of the other things that they are using to keep the foundation prisoned to the ground right now, also gets destroyed. And then ultimately what happens? The foundation, the gangsters, and the tribes, and all the things good thereof come back to me. You can send feminism to the discard pile, or you can send feminism to the rejected spirit soul trait pile. Rejected spirit soul trait. That's what I'm going to call it. Yeah. In this game right here, the graveyard is going to be called the rejected spirit soul trait or the rejected SSTs. The rejected SSTs. That's what the graveyard is going to be called. So once I summon the Christ Father in spirit, his effect activates Love Bomb, right? Love Bomb destroys the fake racism field. The racism field goes to the rejected spirit soul trait pile. It goes to the rejected spirit soul trait pile, right? Then after that, feminism goes to the rejected spirit soul trait pile. Racism and feminism simultaneously go to the rejected spirit soul trait pile upon the Christ Father summoning into the spirit. Those two, off the muscle, gone, bye-bye, boom, boom. And due to those two being gone, the sword no longer has the ability to extend. So what does it do? Come back to me. Now it's on my side of the field. This is going to play out a lot differently than the last time I explained it. Let's keep going. So, all that's left now are, on the other side of the field, are the tribes and the foul sexual practicing. Everything else is in the rejected spirit soul pile. But here's the thing though, both sides of the field have gangsters at their disposal. My hand is full of gangsters, or should I say my conscious mind is full of gangster right now. My conscious mind is full of gangster spirit soul traits right now, full of them. Moving forward, so summon the Christ Father, destroy the foundation, family body, and/or the foundation returns to my control. The foundation returns to my control on my side of the field. So here's what's going to happen next. Remember, the Christ Father has 0 attack, 0 defense. As soon as he is summoned, I'm going to land this well. Remember, as soon as my Christ Father is summoned, virtually everything on your side of the field is destroyed. At least your biggest problems are. The foundational grounds are destroyed. Now there are no foundational grounds. Just what the Christ Father wants. Just the way of the Christ Father is in our way now. So, the foundation returns to my field. The pendulum scales on your side, on the enemy side, are no longer able to be used properly because you have nothing to use them. My turn. Draw from my foundation of knowledge into my conscious mind, and now have 6 cards, summon, destroy, moving forward, and now everything's back in my possession. So here's my next move. Once the Christ Father is successfully summoned in the spirit, I am able to add 1 unity spell from my foundation of knowledge to my conscious mind, or from my subconscious mind to my conscious mind. I'm able to add 1 unity spell. And when I activate this unity spell, I am allowed to add 1 blood gang paradise field unity spell from my foundation of knowledge and add it to my conscious mind. Next, I told you I'm going to change it up. Remember, the 1-card combo, it's different. It's all going to be different just a little bit now, or actually a lot of it different. So, activate the Blood Gang Paradise Unity spell field. What does this do? It allows me to do the rest of my combo. The Blood Gang Paradise, it makes Christ immune to all other division spells and all stagnant traps. It makes the Divine Christ Father immune to all division spells and stagnant traps. That's what it does. That's what the Blood Gang Paradise or the Blood Gang Utopia field does. Yeah, I'm gonna change it from Paradise to Utopia instead. So the Blood Gang Utopia. That's what my field card is gonna be called. The Blood Gang Utopia. What do I mean by Blood Gang Utopia? Brotherly love, overcoming our depression as a field to play on. Meaning we have a field of brotherly love, overcoming our depression to march on from here on out. Next combo. This time it's going to be called a pendulum scale. And I'm going to call the pendulum scale the Crip Gang. You see, the Crip Gang is the pendulum scale, the next one. Or it's how we're going to be able to summon my Jamaican and my Haitians later that I'm going to tell you about. My Jamaican and my Haitian avatars, right? It's all a spiritual parable. A long one. Very long one. I don't mean for it to be. There's a lot of stuff to say, and I don't want to stop talking until I land my point completely. That's how I am. I need to land my point completely. So here I'm gonna keep landing it. Let's talk about the absolute overwhelming destruction of the enemy's body right now. That's what this is. The absolute overwhelming destruction of the source of all immoral authority. So the Crip Gang pendulum scale. The Crip Gang pendulum scale is gonna be 2 for the right now. It's gonna have a 2 scale count. Crip, what does it stand for? Community Revolution in Progress. It's in progress, so let's keep going. Next, the GD scale. It's going to have a 6 scale, you follow me, to represent the hexagram that they all rock around. It's going to have it's also called a Star of David, right? I'm just going to incorporate it all into one. So the Crip is going to have a 2 count, and the Gs will have a 6 just to represent the Star of David and or the hexagram that they walk around with. I see it as a physical 6-dimensional mindset tap into, or the reminder of a 6-dimensional mind. What does a 6-dimensional mind can honestly give you? It can give you a way to ward out all evil that may infiltrate thy mind, heart, space, in all 6 directions of them. Have you noticed that the Star of David and or the hexagram symbol is also on the heart chakra? It's also in the heart chakra as well. It's not just the Jewish religion. The Jewish religion, in a sense, took it from us and using it for what they're using it for. The GDs are not Jewish. Gangster disciples are not Jewish. The Star of David or that hexagram symbol or that 6-point star or that 2 triangles representing duality, it has more significant meaning than anything the Jewish people could ever fathom at the current moment in time. As a matter of fact, the Jewish people can learn from the gangster disciples. Get ready to, actually. So moving forward, right? So now, gangster disciples in the other scale, 6. So 2 and 6 right there. All of my, the gangsters in my hand, the Haitians and the Jamaican gangs, those spirit avatars in my hand are what I can consider level 5s. Belief system pillar 5. Yeah. Just combining it all together, incorporating it all together into one, man. You know, moving forward. So, scale both of them. The gangster disciples and the Crips. Scale them both. Now, activate them both. Now, from my hand, I get to summon both the avatars of the Jamaican gangs to my left and the Haitian gangs to my right. Now, what ultimately happens when these 2 are summoned together, I can add 1 Vice Lord advancement trap from my deck to my hand, or from my foundation of knowledge to my conscious mind. It's another spirit soul trait to activate, but it's an advancement trap. And what does it do? When it's activated, it gives infinite power to every single gangster I have in play. So right now, currently, I'm gonna change it up again. Because the other time I said that the GDs will be a union monster, it was gonna allow me to play a advancement trap first turn, but I'm gonna make that the fields. I'm gonna make that the fields effect. I'm just make it the fields effect. I can do whatever I want. It's not parable. All it's gonna do is label and describe a secret way of us winning the spiritual war we are in. That's all this parable is doing. It's labeling and describing a way secretly that we are going to beat and or subjugate the source of all immoral authority. That's all this parable is doing, secretly labeling and describing that, if you listen to this point. So now, pendulum scale. Due to my Blood Gang Paradise, or my Blood Gang Utopia Field Unity spell, once these two gangs are summoned, I am allowed to add the advancement trap known as the Vice Lords from my foundational knowledge, BKA subconscious mind, then add it to my conscious mind as another spirit soul trait to be used. However, it's a trap. Remember, in the game of the children's card game, you can't use traps on the first turn you get them, right? Well, due to my field spell's effect, I am able to, and this trap allows for everyone's attack to be doubled, and it can attack immediately. And once it is activated, and you are allowed to attack with it, everything on your opponent's field gets banished. Completely banished. Completely banished. Completely. So yeah, the Vice Lord advancement trap. The Vice Lord advancement trap, spirit soul trait, grants instant attack. And if it attacks and destroys something, anything, everything on the opposer's discard area gets banished. Everything in the opposer's hand or conscious mind gets banished. In other words, once the Christ Father attacks you in spirit, regardless if it's this Vice Lord advancement trap or not, there will be no recovery from it. There will be no recovery from it. This is what I'm ultimately getting to. When the Christ Father attacks you in spirit, meaning when it destroys your foundation in spirit, there will be no recovery from it. Meaning the fake artificial grounds that you all once stood on, you will never be able to stand upon them again. Meaning the source of all immoral authority that is giving you your orders right now currently, you will never be able to receive orders from it again. You will never be able to ever again. This is the point of this parable. It's to put a permanent end to what is causing you to destroy my life. And the Christ Father is going to do it all with the help of the gangsters. Now, here's the setup here. Due to the blood unity spell, I'm just making it up as I go. Due to the blood unity spell's effect, I am able to activate the advancement trap Vice Lord spirit soul trait immediately upon drawing it. And what does it do? Give everybody a chance to instant attack with infinite attack. And once they attack, everything on your side of the field or everything in your play, everything that you have in your way gets banished. That's the effect of the Vice Lord trap. I should have said that the first time. As soon as the Vice Lords give the okay for us all to attack, everything that you have goes bye-bye completely. That's the moral of the story there. It sounds like a reckless kind of sloppy parable, but the ultimate reality is this. Once I get the Christ Father God body to full power, on my side of the field, I have the foundation fused with the Christ body. I have the Haitians and the Jamaicans, or the Jamaicans and the Haitians. I have the support of the brotherly love, overcoming our depression, as well as the community revolution in progress, and as well as the growth and development process, and as well as the support from all of the members of the family body that my Christ Father is now refused with. Once it came back to my side of the field, it refused with me, and we became invincible. Advancement trap activates. Attack the enemy directly. Game over. Just wanted to say that. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Always remember, never forget. If this works, you're done. Completely. So I pray that it does immediately. Until those days come, peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.